CMO, let's welcome David Corns. David.
Clicker of mic. Got it. Mic is on. Perfect. Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. So as the team said, I'm here to talk about contextual media and creative. We've found at Opendoor applying this strategy has delivered like huge, amazing impact. So going to share with you a little bit of what we've been up to. So this is me, clean shaven and looking like a cartoon character. It's the best version of myself. We're here to talk about media, okay? But at Opendoor, talking about media also means talking about creative as well, because we believe that creativity is a business advantage. And that isn't just creativity in the sense of make great creative ads to place on media. That means being highly creative with how we plan, buy, target, media. Everything we do is through this lens of how can we be disruptive, how can we be wildly creative. And I get to stand up here and take you guys through everything we've done. But the biggest shout out should go to Nicole Arena on my media team, who leads all of the media day to day, and Deutsche LA, who are our media planning and buying agency, who are also here today. So let's get into it. Where we were a couple of years ago when I joined was we were a great performance marketing department, is how I would put it. There was a lot of lower funnel, digital performance. It was really about money into particular markets. If those markets performed, more money went into those markets. But it wasn't necessarily about what is our higher reason for being, who are the audience we're really trying to talk to, and what are we trying to say. So the creative was really designed to fill media that had been pre-booked based on markets. Not only that, from a media perspective, from a creative perspective, we also saw that the messaging within real estate, this category we were in, was also pretty stagnant. It was like the messaging sold two things. One was process, which is you could sell or buy a home very simply in 3 easy steps. Everyone promised 3 easy steps. Everyone also promised beautiful smiling teeth and a happy marriage and these white picket fences. It was like the easiest thing in the world to do was buying and selling a house, which anyone who's done that knows that that just isn't true. The other side was price. If you're selling, the industry said, we're going to get you the best price. If you're buying, the industry said, we're going to get you the best price. Obviously, in a marketplace, both of these things cannot be true at the same time. And we were realizing we were falling into that trap. We were talking similarly as a Me Too brand in the industry, and we were buying media based on going market first, dollars into performance marketing first. So we realized we needed to change. We needed a different playbook. So I joined the company. I got to build an incredible team, and in the last 2 years, we've had a lot of fun writing this playbook and playing it out. So we started with let's ground what we're doing in a human truth, which is, this is a presentation about context. So the context is, what is the reason people move in the first place? Because it actually isn't about, oh, the Joneses have a much nicer kitchen, I want that kitchen. Or, we all spend hours, all of us, myself included, dreaming on Zillow about that next big house you're going to get. That isn't the reason people move. People move because they're progressing in life. There's a transition happening. They are getting married, so they want to buy their first home together. They're having a baby, so they need to, expand the home. They're moving across country for another job. The reason people move house is because there is a life transition happening. Yet the entire industry was talking about the ease of this transaction. So we honed in here. Like the context was, what is the reason people move? People move because they're transitioning in life. So that gave us what we thought was a pretty interesting and exciting white space to play around, which was if the rest of the category are talking about this transaction, we can talk about life transition, which is a higher emotional place to play. So we wrote a brand purpose, which is powering life's progress one move at a time. And the thought there is we, Opendoor, are helping to power this transition for you to help you move. Life's Progress is a note that it's not about the transaction, it's about the transition. And one move at a time is really recognizing that we're not a CPG brand, we're not a Snickers bar, right? People actually move, it's usually on average about 7 to 11 years. So, you know, that's a lot of thinking, that's a lot of building awareness, and you also as a brand have to recognize if someone's only transacting this way once every 7 or 10 years, you have to recognize that that is a very important moment for them. So powering life's progress one move at a time was the purpose, the higher star, what we were aiming for. And with that, again, we were going performance, lower funnel, into markets. We were trying to elevate up. So now we've got this purpose. So we're also trying to go like, who are we talking to? Because any human being can buy and sell a home if they have the funds. So the target is very broad. So tying it back to the purpose, we looked at an audience we call the optimistic transitioners, which is not about demographic per se, but more mindset. So people move because they're expanding, they're having babies. They move because they're trailblazing in their jobs. They're moving because, you know, actually they're doing well and they are jealous of the Joneses' kitchen, so they're going to move to a better neighborhood. And then lastly, it's the hopeful downsizers. There's a huge part of the population that have, you know, they're empty nesters. Their kids have moved on, and so they have equity in their homes, and they can easily sell. So with these optimistic transitioners and this audience in mind, we set out and we got to work playing out this contextual media and creative strategy. So we went from what was efficient spend, right? It was performance, marketing, markets first, dollars into market, lower funnel, and we went to what I'm sure everyone in this room is aware of, which is this effective audience reach. It became about more mass media, more reach and frequency, but while we were buying mass media, we were also being highly targeted and contextual about where we meet this audience. So this is the first spot that brought this idea to life creatively.
The next minute, thousands of Life's doors will suddenly swing wide open. 250 couples will need to make room for a nursery. 143 people will get their dream job offer. 9 retirees will decide to move closer to the grandkids. 52 people will go all in. This family will become a dog family. And this family will get 2 bathrooms. An athlete will find out he's been traded.
Really?
Again.
Sweet.
A bingo player will win a speedboat.
Bingo! I'm moving to the lake!
And finally, one vacationer will say,
Yeah, whew, I'm gonna live here.
but as the euphoria subsides, the realization hits.
I gotta sell the house.
Or skip the hassles and sell directly to Opendoor. Close in a matter of days.
Wow.
Oh.
Bingo.
Long story short, be open to stepping through life's doors, and we'll handle the house.
So again, hopefully you see this notion of like carving out this space about life's transition, buying media based on reach and frequency, and putting a message out that is contextual to the audience and what they're going through in life, you know, we thought would play well, and boy did it play well. Almost instantly, we saw a 10% increase in serious first offer volume compared to our business as usual, okay? And serious first offers, just to put it into context, we look at that, these are you know, massive increase in first offers. Serious first offers are people that are looking to sell their home in the next 30 plus days. So huge increase in awareness with an audience we were trying to find ways to talk to. So first context was understanding the reason people move so we can better talk to them and target them. The second was this insight that came from DLA and Nicole, which was about our audience, the optimistic transitioners, over-index in sports. So what do we do with that information? Not only do they over-index in sports watching, they're really critically in the seasonality of home sales. March Madness is happening around the time that the home selling season is starting to ramp up. So with that, we took a media insight contextually about our audience, and we found a way to bring a message to them within March Madness. I'm about to share the long form because it was too good not to, but it ran as 30s and 15s and is still running today.
Yo, what's up, everybody? How you doing?
Impressive win tonight, Kev. Any response to the trade rumors we keep hearing about?
The what?
Yeah, it just broke, just crossed the wire.
Trades means moving, man. Moving means I gotta sell my place and then find another place and move someplace that I don't even know. And we're talking about moving. Not the trade. Not the trade. We're talking about moving. How you expect me to sell my house? I mean, my initials are everywhere. KP, KP, KP. You gonna find another KP? We talking about open houses? I gotta open my house to you, Tim? Huh? Huh? What we talking about? Staging? We talking about a faux ficus. A faux ficus. Nobody's gonna bring a faux ficus into my house. What we talking about? Packing tape? We talking about boxes? Corrugated boxes. You don't want to see me with one of those tape guns. I am wicked with that bad boy. I gotta move in the storage, then out of storage, and all of a sudden, I'm sleeping on some stranger's bed in this condo. What we talking about, man? Come on. I think we're talking about moving. Tim, do you like to move? Dan, do you like to move?
About the trade.
No thanks. No thanks to moving. We just got my girls into the schools, and you know how that is. I just met a new dad friend. I got a cat, man. Let's just be frank, Jack. We're talking about moving. Just say for real what we're talking about, because I know what we're talking about. We're talking about moving. Not the trade. We're talking about moving, Dan. So who's going to help me move? Tim, you going to help me move? Dave, I know you're not going to help me move. Who going to help me move? Anybody. Who's going to help me move?
Could use Opendoor. Buy and sell all in one move.
Open what?
I used it. It's good.
I guess we're moving.
Kev,
What you going to ask me about next, man? Practice?
So highly contextual to the audience during the media that they're watching, which is basketball, that we know they're engaged in, that talks directly to our purpose, and the white space we're trying to carve out, which is owning life's transitions, not necessarily the transaction. And I argued at the time it was the best brand spot we ever made. It also turned out to be the best performance work we'd ever run. We saw a 45% increase in search impressions while this ad. It was literally on TV, and search would just shoot through the roof. We saw a 50% increase in first offer conversions and nearly 400% over delivery in impressions. So we were, to say it lightly, very happy. We were also so happy, we changed our media planning for the entirety of the year to make sure that this continued to run on sports programming throughout 2023. And if you're watching any basketball games right now, you'll probably see the work there too. So really good, really good. Everything was going great. We were high-fiving in our virtual hallway. I was planning early retirement. I was starting to look at Caribbean islands that maybe we could buy. It was wonderful. It was my first year in real estate. What could go wrong? Apparently, real estate is not the best industry to join if you want to have a stress-free life. So in 2022 into 2023, we saw the highest increase in interest rates in 40 years, okay? So in the space of a month at one point, you could have bought a house at 2% mortgage. 6 weeks later, it was an 8.5% mortgage. So the whole industry just kind of came to a standstill as people were figuring out, what do they do? What can they afford? So, you know, timing was great. So we were asking ourselves, okay, we've seen context play out for us. We've seen when we're contextual to the problem, contextual to the audience, contextual to the media, and contextual with our creative, great things happen. So the real question was, how do we play this strategy out in the worst real estate market in 40 years? Who is selling their home right now? And the answer was, these guys. Anyone mainly over the age of 55, they have equity in their home. They are less reliant on a mortgage for their next home because they're usually downsizing, which meant we went back to looking for context. The context was downsizers don't need mortgages. So great audience for us to target and market to, both with media and contextual creative. So we went back to the playbook, which was our optimistic transitioner audiences. We're still marketing to all four of them, but the last one we spent more attention on, which led to this work. Talking about contextual media, one thing to do when thinking about media is how do you create your own media? So one of the things we did was we were like, where is an audience we want to meet? That audience was parents who were downsizing because their kids moved to college. So we went to UCLA and we created our own media and our own event, and we filmed the results. I'm going to share that first, and then we'll go on to some of the media programming we bought to serve this message up.
It was a mixed feeling because here I was happy for them going off and doing their thing. But then again,
get that last kiss, you know, and then him just walking. I couldn't move or leave or nothing until he was out of my sight.
I just didn't want him to go. And then when he got on that airplane, I said to him, I'm about to cry now, for real. That's real.
So I'm in this home all by myself and I don't know what to do anymore. Who do I cook for? You know, who do I clean for? It's hard.
At first, I was really sad, and then we started realizing kind of the joys of it.
Like, we don't need a shrine to the past.
I don't miss the stinky laundry, to be honest with you.
Freedom. Yeah. Freedom to do whatever, go to bed whenever, get up whenever.
No need to put a sock in the door. Matter of fact, no need to close the door.
We raised 4 kids. Now it's our time.
We've thought about it quite a few times, leaving the nest.
A little cottage by the beach.
Maybe be in a beautiful condo.
Now all of a sudden we're realizing our potential.
When you downsize, it just saves you a lot of time and money. If I had to do it again, I'd get him out of there. Get out to Nesbitt. I'll be in Hawaii.
So we made that work as 30s, 15s, 6s. We served it digitally. We served it in social. We aired on TV. And it was really impactful. It was also this great cultural moment happening in the country when we're trying to meet and talk to a 55-plus community. The Golden Bachelor came out for the first time ever. Now, if you're a huge fan of the franchise like me, you basically loved this moment. And what that meant for us was there was a large cultural moment where the audience we were trying to target were talking about relationships, which the things we're talking about with life transitions was on air. And so the team at DLA and Nicole brought this to us to say, like, we should be on air here. And so we thought, let's do it. Let's not just run work that exists before. Let's actually create work very quickly, like it was a matter of days, specific for this audience on this media moment. So 2 15-second spots. Now, if you've got good eyesight, you would have seen the legal copy on those ads, which basically says all of these statistics are made up on the spot. The first one says 3 copywriters had too much time on their hands. As an ex-creative agency leader, that's because of billable hours. And then the second one was like, you know, these statistics are made up, but they feel real. So anyway, this work aired on The Golden Bachelor, and we saw great results. The Golden Bachelor delivered the franchise's highest ratings in years. Some say just brought life back to the Bachelor or Bachelorette franchise and had massive audience impact for Opendoor. Some of the stats there, in-season conversion rates as high as 6x. We saw nearly 40% higher impressions in the finale. And the live wedding, which I'm sure many of you watched, in January, over-delivered on our audience impressions by nearly 250%. So again, context with media and creative just played out and worked great for us. So context, the reason people move, we basically built our brand and marketing strategy around it. Context, going like, what is our audience watching and how do we make how we talk to them contextual to the thing they're interested in. Context in the macro, we're adjusting based on how the economy is changing. And then maybe a touch of overconfidence. We were like, well, there's a big game, and we know that in February, the home selling season begins. And what really happens the day after Super Bowl, if Super Bowl's on the 5th of February, things start picking up. If it's on the 15th, things start picking up. America can't think about anything else until the Super Bowl is over. Once it's over, then people can think about moving house. And so that was a really important moment for us where we said, right, okay, if this contextual thing with media and creative is working, there is no better opportunity to test this out than during the big game. Now, to be clear, we did not have the funds, nor did we want to spend $7 million on a 30-second spot nationally. So we were very strategic in where we bought big game media. The context was important there too. We bought in Atlanta. Atlanta this year was one of the hardest markets to sell your home in. So that message that we were putting out was contextual to that market. But we knew that NFL drives more reach with our audience than any other sports, and we were very confident that the big game was a great place to be. So what did we do? Well, we're talking about context, right? What does a real estate company have to do with a football game, right? We're not Nike. We're not adding anything to the field, to the sport. So we wanted to find a way to be contextual in what we do with this programming. And the reality was, well, selling your home to Opendoor is so easy. You can do it in 15 minutes. You could literally do it as Usher is on stage. So there the idea was born, which was the Opendoor halftime showing. I'm going to share a video now which basically summarizes everything we did to pull off what we believe was the first live Super Bowl spot where someone sells their home. So here it is.
It's halftime. Time to go to the bathroom and count how many full baths you have.
It's a Jack and Jill.
Selling your home to Opendoor is so easy. You can do it during halftime.
We have an ad that dropped ahead of the big game. It's from Opendoor.
Opendoor is getting ready for its first ever live big game commercials.
Opendoor during halftime.
Yeah, the commercial showcases a real homeowner in real time getting a real offer on their real home from Opendoor.
And it shows you how fast you can sell your home.
So we've been trying to sell our home here in Atlanta, but it's been real tough.
But we heard through Opendoor, it's so easy to sell, we can do it during halftime.
We're gonna show it live just like this. That's my boy Nick. Well, look at that kitchen. Halftime's in a few. All right, it's time to go sell our house.
All right, well, hi, Kevin and Michelle. My name's Lane. I'm here with Opendoor. It's a pleasure meeting you both today.
Hey, you
nice
too.
to meet you.
Hello and welcome to the Opendoor halftime showing. We're here in hot Atlanta, one of the toughest markets to sell a home in.
I guess the main reason for me is this house is a little older, a little outdated, so something newer, a little more modern would be nice.
I gotta be honest with you, I'm a little afraid of heights.
We just got the offer from Opendoor. We're selling our house!
Nelly says a live commercial like someone really slipping on real grass during a live stream, and anyone who wants to do live TV, don't do it. It's very stressful. So, context. We talked about the reason people moved, that context was at the core of everything we did, from strategically positioning ourselves to life transitions and building our purpose around it, to context around audience over-indexing in watching basketball, so creating work specifically to talk to that audience during that media moment, to pivoting because of a change in the macro environment, to context around the big game being the start of the official America home selling season. And then bringing that forward, like these are key moments in time, but we've found a way to do this both evergreen. We are now organizing all of our creative and all of our messaging, yes, by contextual audience and contextual media. So linear TV, we have Be Open, which is our kind of evergreen campaign that plays under everything to tell people about Opendoor and how we help with life transitions. We have networks grouped by audience within sport that we run traded in. We now have halftime showing that you just saw, which can now work post Super Bowl II because you can still sell your home during halftime. We've got work specifically written to relationships and changing relationships. We did a great partnership with OkCupid on National Breakup Day. We have, home and real estate media because, we're in real estate. And then 55 plus, we've got a growing number of content specific to them. So we're using linear TV, streaming TV, and are being very deliberate about what content runs where and what is it talking about to who. Which means from a creative standpoint, we begin to organize everything around certain media channels. So there's this notion of like ideas coming from the media team that feed into the creative team to create content, and ideas coming from the creative team that feed into the media team to create better content and better messaging for that audience. So last up, took you through a few examples of how this context in creative and media and targeting has been working, specifically to video. All of last year, we played this out in everything we do. So one last video that's basically showing a recap of how this strategy played out everywhere for Opendoor. It's that. Thank you. That's how we've used contextual creative, contextual media to really drive momentum and building the Opendoor brand. So thank you very much.
That was awesome, David. Well, I want to open it up to questions. Anyone have a question for David before he takes off on the stage? And I actually do, before you do go. When you're, especially with the Atlanta, so the Super Bowl, that's obviously very specific to that area. But obviously you have to cover all these different locations, all these different areas. So creating, how much of the creative needs to change for that to have that real contextual feel? And I would think that could be time consuming and expensive. How are you able to make that work?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. We actually found, you know, at the beginning I shared the performance chart where we were putting money into individual markets. We actually find that the reasons people move are pretty universal. So our TV is mainly bought nationally, and we make work for video and TV to run nationally. And then if there's certain markets that require kind of extra attention, we'll specifically do minimal on-the-ground work there. The point of Atlanta was really twofold. Was one, not wanting the $7 million price tag for national Super Bowl. Two was, it was a market that was hurting, so it just made sense to be there. But also going back to context, we knew that leading up to the big game, the news cycle becomes about the commercials. So we were very deliberately launching PR around doing the world's first live sale 2 or 3 weeks ahead of the big game to get all of those free PR impressions that you saw. Is nearly $7 million in free value. So that was really a PR move to use the market and the hype around Super Bowl to get that attention nationally. So yeah, that's it. The UCLA example was similar too. Was like, let's do something for real in a market that matters, but it was really about capturing that footage to then share it nationally.
Yeah, because that earned media, I mean, obviously you got tons of it, people were covering it. And is that a key part of whenever you're latching onto these big events, you know, Super Bowl or March Madness or whatever it may be, but having that lead up, having that earned media, so then maybe the investment doesn't have to be, as you said, as expensive as actually buying a Super Bowl ad.
Yeah, 100%. And there's also a way now to use video where you know, UCLA, the empty nest, there was about 80,000 impressions that day for the live event. So even if it didn't spread, that was still good given the investment. But it also allowed us the opportunity to capture that footage and share out. So you can use social and digital almost as an insights machine where you do something, you put it out, you see what the engagement is like on social or in digital, you see how it's working, and then you have the confidence to go, right, now we can put more money behind it nationally on TV. So it's currently we're working less as market to market, but we're definitely starting to explore social in a way that is an insights generator by putting a lot of content out, see what is working, pulling insights from that, so then we know when we put dollars behind a particular message on TV, we have a good sense of how it will perform.
Great. All right, well, David, that was awesome. Oh, wait, I think we have a question. Yes? Okay, hold on.
Just curious with the news of the kind of the National Realtor Commission and things like that, is there a context opportunity for you all to jump into that conversation?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, from the beginning, Opendoor was built to help take what was a very traditional and a model in the category that had unchanged in over 100 years, that was stressful, expensive, time-consuming. And from the very beginning, our goal was like, how do we make it simple, certain, and fast? And we always say, like, our business model is such that if the consumer is happy, that is, happy with the offer we give them and happy with the customer service they get, our business does well. You know, conversely, it isn't about commission. So, you know, we feel very good about where we are and how we're positioned today, and think anything that's good for the consumer in real estate is good for Opendoor and good for the rest of us. So.
All right. Well, David, that was awesome. Everyone give a round of applause here.